Welcome to Sith Talk, brought to you by Gadakara and Lanyard, bringing you news from Star Wars The Old Republic and beyond. Join us now as we explore the universe and take down the Republic in a galaxy not so far away. Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of Sith Talk. Everyone's favorite podcast, possibly? I don't know.
Exciting. You forgot to say exciting.
I was going to say exciting, but I have to change it once in a fucking while. Jesus.
Episode 27.
Yeah, episode 27. And, of course, we've got some new news. I would like to say some great new patch notes, but, of course, the patch notes were dog shit. We did get some, interesting information from our viewers, listeners, watchers, emailers, as well as some other possibilities that our buddy White Sword has brought up. We've, of course, got our guild name of the week coming up. I found a fun name that I'm gonna talk about during my portion of the week. And, of course, we've got a new item I'm going to call Ganker's Shout Out that was inspired by a group that fucked with me this week. And, of course, we're going to have our week. We get a new episode of the Galactic Librarian featuring my wife, Sudo. And then, of course, some random bullshit. Definitely want to start off by making sure we pay the bills, or at least hope to eventually pay the bills, with mentioning audibletrial.com/Sith Talk, which Lanyard has now put on the bottom of our stream as far as our video, our audio is concerned. So those of you who are watching our YouTube channel will notice that link at the bottom. And, audibletrials.com/Sith Talk. And once you do it, you got 30 days, a free book. If you sign on for the full program, you get a free book each month for only $15 a month. And, of course, you help out, throw a little change into the coffers. Now, I do have a couple of books that I've gotten. One of them, I guess it's kind of an old guy type of thing, maybe a literary person's view. I got Edgar Allan Poe's Complete Short Stories, which is a nice 15-hour long. Oh Jesus, you're getting bored again. What do you not read fucking books?
No, my dad has that on in the what do they call those things with the
pages
and paper. Yeah, he's actually got the book, and it's like. I don't know. It's
monstrous.
It's about 8 inches thick, and it's sitting on his shelf. And I asked him one day, I said, "Have you actually read any of that?" He's like, "Oh yeah."
Read it several times, and now with the advent of Audible, you can actually have it read to you.
But it's no good if you don't have Christopher Walken reading it to you.
Well, no, Christopher Walken doesn't do this one, but it's
that
okay.
would be awesome.
But once again, the book, of course, is going to be whatever you choose to listen to. I got a referral for the Red Reaper from our buddy Joe Hagan last episode. He actually told me that Red Reaper was a really good zombie-esque type of Star Wars story. So I'm going to have to work on getting that when my month renews, of course. Now is moving from there into what we like to call a little bit of housekeeping. We had some good reviews this week. We had some notes from listeners, and as I always do, I like to give a little respect to that. Our buddy Brownieland over on YouTube said that, he says, I don't mind if, he said, I don't know if it's just me. Since the FTP announcement, I seem to be hardly playing. This game built itself up so magnificently, but before it was out, and now it feels dead. I hope that I'm wrong, but this feels bad. And Brownie, man, I can't argue with you. As an MMO player, when you're on a game that starts off subscription based, and then they make the grand announcement of going free to play, it definitely takes a little wind out of our sails. I don't know if Lanyard would feel any different, but it is definitely a blow to the ego.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, this fucking game's awesome. You got to pay $15, blah blah blah. But to me, I'm still playing all the time. I think I logged in close to 20 or 30 hours this week,
wow.
And that's with just playing a couple days a week. But when I get on, I'm on for an entire day off, or possibly 12, 15 hours each time. And then when I jump on my days that I work, I still end up playing 6 to 7 hours those nights. I don't know. I don't want to say it feels dead. I still see tons of people when I create new characters. I still see the starter zones jam packed with people. So it's not dead, but I definitely understand the feeling. The idea that you started off playing a game that felt vibrant and awesome, and then the servers got condensed, and once again we were back in an area where the servers felt huge and enormous and great. My hope is that with the new content we'll be talking about a little bit later, that will reinvigorate a few of the people who have fallen to the wayside, whether it be the hardcore raiders, or if it's just the people who are alcoholics like myself. I know our guild on the Imperial side has kind of wavered, but it's because
just because we've been playing on the pub side for getting the pub that perspective.
Yeah, but man, don't be upset by it. Brownie, if a worst case scenario, come over to our server, and whether you want to roll an imp or a pub, we'll be there to play with you.
We got guilds on both sides now.
Yes, and we'll be talking about that during our week. Yep. We also got a note from someone on the Podomatic site. It said, "Great podcast as usual. I actually listen every week now for Dad to say, 'What did you do?' to Lanyard, and it's inspired me to do my own podcast. So when I do, I will be sure to give you guys a shout out. Keep up the great work, or excuse me, good work." His name, that's Trancer, a Madness Sorcerer on the Ebon Hawk server.
Cool.
And then, of course, I got an email from Cody this week. Cody says, "Hey guys, Cody here. Really good podcast. As always, wanted to say the new fan segment was really nice. And I also, being a business major, I thought it was a nice addition because of how much it opens the doors to SWTOR. I honestly am open to the free to play way, and mainly because I could see EA doing this, not because they are abandoning the game, but because they want to grow it, to make it more fun. A business perspective they have probably abide by is, if you aren't growing, you're losing. So they are just trying to grow the game for us and them. I hope, let's see. I have to say that you all definitely do bring a lot of fun to talking about the game, and hopefully in the weeks coming I will get back into playing. But myself, I just like you, would only pay under $15 a month for a sub, because that is just how I view an MMO as being played. Can't wait for next week. God bless." So once again, another person that says, "Hey, why not? What the fuck? $15 a month, I'm down with paying it. Would rather do that than bust my ass paying for in-game shit." Once again, can't disagree on that. I'm not going to drop my sub and go free to play because I'm an alcoholic and I don't want to lose my shit. And that's been my big thing. Like, what do you do when you're free to play? How are you going to make that viable for yourself? What exceptions are you going to make that worthwhile? And I guess if you're not playing every week, then it's not a big deal.
Or if you're just an extreme casual, you just hop on just to goof off for a few minutes, an hour, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and if you don't have a ton of time to play, and that's the big problem for MMO players, is most of them are playing multiple MMOs and trying to justify either the expenditure or the time. My nephew Larry, he still plays the shit out of WoW, and his female friend still play all the time, and he wants to play Star Wars, and so does she, but they both need better computers because it's not as downgraded as some of the WoW settings are.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine that he tried logging on and playing, and he's like, "Hey, this game looks great. I love how it's set up, but my computer just won't run it. I'm lagging so bad." So
And that's a problem I'm sure a lot of people had coming into it, because we were so used to WoW and being able to put the settings on whatever close to whatever we want and be able to run it and still be fair. With this game, it does kind of require you to have the secondary graphics card. It requires you to have a little bit more memory in your system, better processor, things like that. So it's a respectable deal. Now I will mention this, and Kevin was kind of aloof as to the exact particulars. Now, he said he wanted, in lieu of the idea that, the subscriber base for Star Wars was kind of going away, and the fact that the game was going to go free to play soon, sometime in the near future, rather than getting the 100 likes and getting a time card, which I still endorse. I'm not sliding on that. We're up to, I think it was 77 likes the last time I looked. We had went down one, and then we picked up two, so it kind of went back up to where we wanted it to go, and hopefully it'll go further. I know I haven't mentioned it in a few episodes, but guys, we are still willing to pay for a time card in the event that we get to 100 likes, and those will be sourced through the amount, the people that are on our list as likes. And of course, we said 100, but it's technically 102 or 103 because we have to leave Lanyard, myself, and Kevin out of that pool, obviously.
We'll just say 100 and just automatically leave us out.
Right. Now, Kevin wants to try to see if we can get 100 reviews. We talked about it, and he said probably it would be based on iTunes. So if there's 100 of you who subscribe to us through iTunes, or if there's any of you who have iTunes and just listen to us on your home computer, Kevin is ponying up a signed Star Wars poster featuring Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul in their desert fight. And he states it's in near mint condition. He apparently put it on the wall with tacks. So if you want to frame it, it's up to you. But he says if we can get to 100 reviews, he'd be happy to give that away. Now, the other one, I'll have to talk to him about, because I'm not entirely sure on how the hell we get 1,000 reviews on a podcast that normally sees about 1,000 views a week. But he's looking to get 1,000 reviews, and he's got the Book of the Sith Holocron Collector's Edition, just like I do, as the big fucking pyramid-shaped holocron with the sliding door and the Book of the Sith in it. Kevin opened it once, used it for a YouTube video that was like 30 seconds long, and then put it back in his closet. It's the same one that Sudo used to read for some of the lore items for her podcast, and I still have the cube sitting in my closet because I don't have a desk to display it on as of yet, because I still record in the living room. But those were optioned up by good old White Sword, and I appreciate his ideas, as we always do. And let's see. I think that's about it for housekeeping. I'm good with that for housekeeping.
Okay.
Definitely have more information to get into as the podcast goes on. So, as our buddy said, man, what did you do this week?
Well, Sweeza all week.
Yeah, how's our girl doing?
She is dark 4 and looking horrid. So I had to turn that off. She was like a faded Kermit the Frog looking, and so I turned her dark look off, so she's back to her dark green. She's about as green now as your chair, and yeah, which is better than the faded green that she was. So. As everybody knows, I've been trying to get my first pub up to level 50, and for a while there, it was just like grind. It doesn't seem to be moving. I was at level 46, then I was level 47, and Saturday I got her, or whatever day it is, I don't know. But anyway, a couple days ago, I got her to 48. Yesterday I hit 49, and today, about 20 minutes before we started the podcast, I hit 50.
Woo-hoo.
Woo-hoo! So I did make my Twitter prediction. I said on Twitter that I was gonna hit 50, have my ricotta pants, and get a black hole earpiece. However, I didn't get the earpiece because we had to. I know I'm only five black holes away, but the LFG didn't pop. It didn't pop. It just would sit there. So I got my Ilum done. I got my Corellia. I've just got to Corellia and got that started, and I've done Belsavis. So I've been doing those dailies, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we did some PvP with Kiwi and yourself and Sudo, and we just dominated the ones that we were doing. We just ripped them apart. We always were on the top We were the top 4 for damage. We were the top.
Damn near every time. Yeah.
We were the top 4 for medals. We were the top 4 for votes. We just, hey, we don't need you guys. But so we did that, and of course we did. Do you want to mention the guild now, or you want
to? Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, what the hell? Go ahead,
okay.
You can do it. I'll do it too.
Okay, we did start our guild on Pub. We finally got everybody on at one time, and the original name was Nonsense, which was great. I liked Nonsense, but then we were going through and we found some
found
some synonyms, and much to Sudo's dismay, we decided to change the guild after dropping 5K for like 5 minutes. We had the guild Nonsense, and now we are Balderdash. Balderdash. So that's our guild name on the pub side. On the Party of the Five, Prophecy of the Five, so if you're looking for a guild on Prophecy of the Five, we are taking members, and
don't get used to us being on, because
right.
If we get a bunch of members, we'll probably go play on Sith for a little bit.
Else, yeah. If you do have if you do have tunes on both sides, I mean that's our guild. We got Balderdash on the pub side.
And if you listen to the podcast and you don't fucking have a guild, because I've seen a lot of that lately.
Or if you just, whatever. We should really somewhere put our... Well, I'll talk to that after the show. That's probably something we should probably talk about after the show. But anyway, so that's what I did. I mean, it was a short week. I got my apartment this week, so I'll be moving here
to your new recording studio.
To my new recording studio once it gets set up.
Oh, shit.
In 2 weeks, I'll be the 1st of September. I'll be moving, and we've got to figure out if I'm going to be able to do the recording, or if we throw in a guest. So that's it. I mean, I have not done anything. I haven't leveled up as much as I wanted to. So now that I've got Suiza set up, she's done with her storyline. Sorry guys, there's really nothing exciting about the story that was going. The last half of chapter 3 kind of just was there. You go kill the main guy and that you were looking for in chapter 3, and that's it. It's okay. That's it. Now go to
puddles. Is it that?
It does. It really is. You go okay. Your final discussion as your story. Right. is with Garza, and which is your Captain Major General Garza,
bitch.
And then you talk to the leader of the Republic, whatever the hell her name is, which by the way is a Twi'lek. Whatever.
Interesting.
Anyhow, so you talk to her, and then of course I'm smart ass to her. She's like, for all your good deeds, I am recommending you the Silver Star. And then, of course, my response is, instead of thank you, it's, what about the rest of my team? Hello? It's like, they did the work too. Oh, well, of course, we'll get something for them too. What a bitch.
Here's some lovely party gifts.
Yeah, right. And so it's like you get a Silver Star and a pat on the back. And I'm like, really? That's it? How about a promotion? But... No promotion, no Silver Star to wear on my uniform or hang up in my ship. That's it. It just kind of went, it was really cool. Then it just, and that's it. So then, of course, then you do the Ilum stuff, which everybody gets the same quests for Ilum. Everybody gets the same missions for Ilum. Everybody gets the same missions. Actually, yeah, they send me to Ilum, then Belsavis, which I thought was kind of backwards, but I guess not. I guess if I remember right, it was Ilum first, then it was Belsavis. Yeah. Now it's Corellia. I just got to Corellia, landed, went in the base, and logged off so I could do the show. But so that's where I'm at.
I'll jump on my Sork and pwn you a few times, make you feel at home.
Well, yeah, you'll have to come over there because there's, from what I'm seeing, and now I haven't done all the Corellian dailies yet. But from what I see, it doesn't look like the pubs actually go into the Sith area to do their dailies, unlike on Ilum where they cross over that one time. But other than that, and then today I was doing I finished up Ilum, the dailies today because I was actually getting some damn good experience doing the dailies, which is what got me to 50. Oh,
Right.
I recorded that too. I was going to put that up here to show you that when I donged. Anyways,
You donged?
when I donged, but I forgot to put that up. I'll put it on Lanyard's YouTube channel that nobody goes to. So anyways, I'm doing the daily that's over there where we mix, and I'm killing my Imperials and I'm taking out the turrets, and I saw 2 Imperials just cruise on by. And the other guy just kind of came through, and I'm beating up on stuff, and he rode his speeder right through the middle of it and just kept going. I said, I want to say thank you to those people because that's proper. I mean, I wouldn't even have bothered me if they ganked me or attacked me or whatever and killed me and then moved on. That's fine too. I mean, that's what it's for. It's a PvP server.
Yeah.
But I was talking to the other people in Vent. I was like, this is how you can tell. This is how you can tell you're on a PvP server with people that play PvP servers. You can tell that those guys are PvP players, server players, because this guy's out doing his dailies. I'm going to do my dailies. I really don't want to mess with this stuff, which was cool. So that's it. I mean, I didn't have anything exciting. Didn't do nothing fancy. I don't have any guild names. I don't have any people names. Oh, Lord Dipstick was looking for
Lord Dipstick.
Yes, Lord Dipstick was on Fleet the other day looking for EV hard mode. It was either EV hard mode or Nightmare. I don't remember which, but I thought it was funny that he posts up must know fights.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Know anything.
Right. But I guess he learned. Hey, great. That's awesome. He's moved up.
It only took him 35 levels.
35 levels. Hey, that's nothing. We went into a flashpoint. It was through the looking for group. The flashpoint, and we get there, and we're all sitting around waiting for the tank to show up. Okay, so maybe he's fighting or something, but he did, hit. And we're waiting, and we're like, all of a sudden he comes on party chat and goes, "How do I get there?" Really? You're level 50, and you don't know how to get to the freaking place? It was Directive 7 too, so it's like even if you hit 50 before looking for a group. You should at least know where the entry to, because you can go that way too. You can just go the old school way. So I had to, click on the looking for group.
Man.
That's it. That's it. I'm done now. Nothing else. If something else comes up, I'll interrupt you as always. But what did you do?
I can't say super eventful week. I went ahead and I dropped slicing on Rakat for his newest profession, which was investigation. I'm trying to make sure that I have purple gear or purple weapons for my characters as I'm leading my way to 50, because any little extra bonus I can get for my tank or any little bonus I can get for a healer, I really want. So I got some rather nice purple gear for purple weapons for my characters to move into when they hit. I think one's a level 17 blaster rifle, and the other one's another blaster rifle for when my tank gets closer to 40. I actually got to do an EV hard mode. Haven't done an op in like fucking 2 months. Just because my time doesn't, the time that I play or that I'm on in general doesn't mesh with anybody that we fucking know. Like no one's advertising that shit.
Same with me. I mean, other than.
But Kiwi got me into a little boiling water with the old lady. My wife had been begging me to get on my tank, and she'd be able to heal me, and she was all excited about running a run with me. We get into Catamaru, and I think we were maybe 5-10 minutes in, and I was like, yeah, buddy needs me by. Of course, the wife's like, what the fuck? I waited all fucking day, and you didn't fucking run with me, and you said you were going to fucking run with me. She said, fuck it, I'm going to bed. So of course I get into deep shit because I go to do the EV hard. Yeah, major aggro, and that's sad because the wife, I records for the show and shit, and she's been playing MMOs with me forever. Normally she goes with, but she's really trying to level up her Sage, and I told her to fuck. She's still a level behind me, and I'm dicking off half the time. But I did go to EV hard.
She does multiple characters at the same time. She gets,
She'll do one till a certain level, then she'll get bored and go to another one. So. But we went and did the EV hard mode, and I don't want to get Kiwi in too much hot water. I don't know how often he runs with the guild that we ran with, because I don't remember the fucking name, so I don't really care. So we go, and apparently I found out about halfway through the run that I was the most geared character on my Merc. I don't play on my Merc that often. Like, when we were doing raids with complications, I tried a little bit harder. And, I went with Naga, though. Yeah. And I was like, well, I really like the DPS this fight. And, I'd really like to come as DPS. So I was like, well, I can't do it in my PvP gear. I actually did run a lot of hard mode flashpoints. And I got his gear up. I went from Chinese and I went into Kalumi and I got a few Ricotta pieces. And, well, now I've got some Black Hole and Ricotta and Kalumi. So I'm still pretty much, a Salvation Army whore. But we go into this run and I find out I've got the top gear.
Right.
Like, I'm better than everybody else, and I'm just dumbfounded. Because I've got, like, Black Hole implants and a Black Hole earpiece, and, I've got Black Hole a lot of Black Hole shit. I've saved up my comms, I've done my dailies, whatever. Well, I get in there throughout the entire run, these guys are going, oh, everybody's got to be in vent, and blah, 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 link up to the parser. And there's, like, only a third of maybe half the raid. At best, half the raid actually has the parser up. And I'm the top damage on every single fight. Every single pull, whether I tried or not. Right. So I don't know if that means I was OP, I was overgeared, or they just sucked.
Right.
But they tell us this other Merc that's in the group, probably close to the same spec. They're like, oh yeah, well this guy's new, we're trying him out, seeing how he does on a raid team. Okay. He's in greens, no purples, maybe a blue here and there, and he's got like level 47 gear. So we literally did a candy run for this motherfucker.
Right.
Like, we're burning everything down. The only thing I wanted, which was a pair of Kalumi boots, I think it was, or Ricotta boots, I can't remember.
Always the boots.
Dude, same thing happened on my Hunter on fucking WoW.
Same thing happened.
Shit. Yeah, I almost broke the keyboard that time.
The lanyard's the same way. I still haven't gotten the fucking Ricotta boots. Pissing me off.
But, my boots dropped, and I was like, oh, fuck, those finally an upgrade for me, The whole run I'm getting told how overgeared I am and how awesome my DPS is. Right. And I get to this one drop, and I'm like, come on, this motherfucker's won every fucking thing. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, Kiwi's getting fucked out of gear left and right, or getting fucked out of items. Oh, well, we'll just send that to the guild. Oh, we're just going to give that to the guild. Blah, blah, blah. But Kiwi's the better of the two tanks. He's better than their guild tank. And instead of making a friend and giving him some shit here and there, instead of making a friend out of me and giving me my fucking boots, they give it to the scrub that they were like, oh, we're just testing him out. What the fuck?
Testing him out. It's probably somebody's alt. It's probably one of their main characters' alts. Guildie's alts.
Here's the killer, okay? Not only did this guy not have the parser up, not only did he not have gear, but he also wasn't in fucking vent.
Oh, Jesus. These are requirements, but we're going to go ahead and pull him along anyway.
Yeah. And like, we got, there's the lava dog or whatever the fuck it is. The one fight where you have to jump from a little island to little island to fight the boss in the lava?
Oh, yeah, the big lava guy. Imitation Molten Core.
Now, I will admit, we pretty much one-shot every battle, with the exception, I think, of the very end, when we actually got to the very end of EV. That one, I think, took 2 tries, and I can't remember why. Yeah, when we got the Soa. I don't remember. I think that one took 2 tries because somebody missed a jump or something stupid. Oh, both of our healers got pulled into mine traps. That's
Ooh.
And that's complete fuck. Yeah, that was complete fuck sauce. And of course, most of the DPS wasn't switching to the fucking mine traps in the first place, the first fight. But we learned from that. We of course took Soa down on the second pull. But so we're doing the lava dude, and 2/3 of the raid's dead. There's 3 of us up. Thank God for the crit on Heat Seekers. I had a whole 5 stacks up on Tracer, and when I hit him with Heat Seekers, it took him down that last 15 or 20,000 health points he had. And I was like, oh yeah, that's fucking awesome. I mean, not that there were 200 guys there, but
as many times as I've done it, I really enjoy EV. I like it better than KP.
My only complaint about EV is that stupid puzzle boss isn't a puzzle boss. It's a combination lock with a couple of mobs.
Yeah.
And that was another thing. Apparently, the tank they had on the other with the other half of the group, when we split 4 and 4 on that, because we didn't do 16, it was 8-man.
Right.
But we split 4 and 4. Well, apparently the other tank didn't know how to change the cubes. Kiwi did. Well, then they brought another DPS over to our side because he had the app on his phone for the fucking cubes. So I got to play pretend a tank on my Merc. Granted, as Kiwi said, my armorings a little my armorings are a little fucked up, so I've got more health than the average guy does.
Right.
I'm closer to a tank than I am a DPS. But
that's a pretty easy fight anyway.
Yeah,
even on hard mode. 16 gets a little tricky, but it's still pretty easy fight as long as you're doing it right. As long as the guy turning the combination knows how to turn it, which I never volunteer for any of those puzzle things because it's like that was
the first thing they asked me. Hey, Raycott. That was another thing. Fucked up my name. Fucked up my fucking name.
4 letters.
Easiest fucking name I have, and they fucked it up. Raycott. Every 5 seconds, Raycott. Raycott. There's a fucking accent mark. There's a space. For fuck's sake. Raycott. It's, where's the Y? Where's the I?
Right.
Where's the accent symbol or nothing? Raycott. It's just that easy. Raycott. For fuck's sake. And could you imagine if it had been Naga Jalokia?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
they might have just gone with Naga, because Naga's pretty easy to pronounce. Well, so is
Naga Sudo. Yeah, well, so's Raycott,
No, what's really fuck them up is if you bring the other one, Buell or
Boot.
Boot.
Or Gazini.
Gazini's a bitch. Yeah.
Oh, so
I think I'm gonna name my cat some fucked up thing with every letter having accents just to screw with me.
His name's Bill.
With
95 characters.
With no vowels. It's gonna be straight consonants.
But, I'll change that from a negative to a positive. So we did a lot of PvP, as you said, and we were wrecking the place with you, me, Sudo, and Kiwi on Jackson. We were just wrecking the place. It was fantastic.
Awesome.
We had a tanking trooper, we had a healing sage, we had a DPS trooper, and I can't remember what his character was. What's Jackson? Jackson's
Knight?
Not a guardian, a sentinel. He's a Jedi sentinel. And we were just tearing shit up. I mean, he does a phenomenal job DPSing on his character.
Yeah. Well, it helps that we were all in vent, so it's especially with hut ball, to your left, upper left, right. It's a lot easier to do.
Throw up.
Yeah.
When you see that shit in chat, you're going, where?
Where? Throw up.
Which
okay.
up?
I'm tossing it in the air.
I'm gonna throw it at random. You go up.
Yeah. Right.
Want some fries with that? But I got this random whisper, and the guy goes, "Are you a local?" And I went, "A local what?" Local question mark. Right. And it ended up going in this rather long conversation. The guy's from Hawaii, and he was hoping that I was a local, I was a Hawaiian, because my name is, it's called Mist. It's Mists of Heaven in Hawaiian. Nolani. And I was like, no, I just thought Nolani was a beautiful name. I went ahead and used it, and I started realizing he might think I was a chick. And I was like, no, I'm landlocked, dude. I'm in Alabama. I wish to fucking God I could get to Hawaii. And he goes, yeah, I'm kind of in the same situation. I'm stuck in Hawaii. I'm ocean locked.
Yeah, you don't want to go. Hawaii is a great place to say you've been there.
Yeah.
You don't want to
From what I hear,
there.
It's fucking expensive.
Yeah. And then it's full of tourists. Crappy.
But it was cool, and I typed him back. I said, no, I'm a Honey, which is an outsider.
Right.
And, well, in Hawaiian, it's a derogatory term for outsiders. But he's like, oh, okay, well, I was just hoping to find another local, And
yeah, because there's probably 3 on all 7 islands that play Star Wars.
Yeah. And I mean, but in World of Warcraft, man, and of course, once again, the audience was huge back then.
Yeah.
When we played. And it was so awesome that, you like, mainlanders, you meet them all the time. People from New York. We've got the one friend from Alaska, kind of still a mainlander.
Yeah.
But how often do you really meet someone that's off the map? Hawaii's way out there in the fucking ocean.
Well, with WoW, you'd be. I mean, I started out on an Aussie server, so everybody I played with was off the map, and in a different day, So it was, for when I was playing on that server, it was fun to find people that were actually in the States. I was playing on that server, it's Aussie server, and I ran into a guy that was playing from Arkansas. I was like, wow, I thought I got the wrong server. So being over in Oregon, you are really fucked up. He's like, yeah, it's a bitch. But Yeah, it's kind of cool. But no, it's fun. And then when you find people that play locally, you know, someone mentions this. Like for me, I was running around, and I don't remember what server it was. It was on Star Wars. And I saw a guy's name that his name was Oregon Ducks or something like that. Oregon or underscore Ducks. So I knew it was Oregon Ducks or Ducks fan. That's what it said, Ducks fan. And I said, oh hey, you're from Oregon. Whereabouts? You know, and so it was kind of cool to find people in your local area too. So. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I have people that coworkers that that play the game, and but none of us chose the same server. Like they had a group of friends that were going. They were like, "What server?" And that's where they ended up going. Yeah. But I mean, it was a really fun week. I've been beasting up on my my crew skills on different characters. Made a fair amount of money on the GTN. Got Nolani up to 34, I think it was this week. I've got the good old buddy Hot Chocolate nearly to 17. Ooh, so I've been bouncing around from characters. Yeah. But I've been bouncing around from character to character. Now, one thing I will say is, I decided to go and do some missioning on Nolani. Well, for Nolani on Balmora, for those that are strictly Imperial players, when you do it on the Republic side, it's the exact opposite. Like, if you didn't do the bonus missions on Balmora, you don't even know Bugtown exists.
Right.
Like, it's a spot on the map that's just darkened out.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a rather extensive bonus mission quest to get you over
there. Yeah.
Well, on the Republic side, you quite literally follow the exact opposite path.
And you start
out Bugtown, which is fucking retarded.
Yeah, because you can't get anywhere without getting killed.
No shit. Yeah,
it was kind of like in WoW when you went to on the Horde side when you went to Northrend.
Yeah,
you landed in that crappy little bit, and then you couldn't step outside without getting ganked by a shitload of bugs. Yeah. I was like, who the fuck put this shit here?
But I did do my prerequisite dailies. As I always do every week, and it ran into what I earlier described as the ganker shout out. Okay, so we talked about how we're on a PvP server, and getting ganked is part of life occasionally. Well, Rakat obviously is not PvP. Being that my merc is using Tracer Missile and spamming Tracer and Heat Seeker. Heat Seeker's not as effective without the stack, so he's not as good as if he was like, I don't know, Advanced Pyro or a Pyro. Or for that matter, the tanking class version of a Pyro.
Right.
And so I don't PvP on him. If I see if I get ganked, I just fucking run away and hope to die. I hope to die away from the NPCs.
Right.
So I was going to do the mission where you're guarding the packages, and I see the first guy coming up the hill. That was Solvo. I can't. It's Svolovh. So apparently he's Slovak. But Sovlo was on the stairs, and he just kept driving past. So I drove past him. Nothing was done. Well, then I get to Salty Slug. And Salty Slug is just starting up the stairway climb and sees me, and I'm like, let's see if he goes past. And I get right around the corner, and suddenly I'm dismounted. Not because of the 19 NPCs that are following me, but because he's decided to attack me.
Yeah.
And he's in full PvP gear and just wipes the fucking floor with me. And, they do /hug and /cry and whatever else.
Their little taunting bullshit.
Yeah. And then out of nowhere, he goes, oh, hey, cool guild name.
So after I'm being a prick, I think I'll give you a compliment.
So that's why I call it the ganker shout out, because it was kind of confusing, because I'm like, I can't respond and say, like, he says it and say, so I knew it was him.
Yeah.
I can't respond, I'm dead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, do I res real quick, or do I just wait and yell later?
Yeah.
Salty Slug and the other dude were from the pub guild Hood, Hood.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
So
the Hood.
I did yell, and I did thanks. I think you just raped me, but you said I had a good guild name. Mm-hmm. I guess I should say thank you.
Yeah, right.
That was fucked up. But it was odd. He did. They killed me the one time, and then they just went about their business. I got my mission done without second occurrences.
Oh, that's cool.
And there was no ganker over at the Poisonous Strat this week when I did it on Rakat, so I was happy with that.
Nice.
I did run across one guild name, and I asked Lanyard, so you guys will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I used it last week. I just added it to my file. It was the My Little Pony Guild on the Imperial side of the Prophecy of the Five server. And I have to admit, of all the names, My Little Pony just, it kind of fucks with me.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure,
I'd almost join that just for the name.
I'm wondering if there's somebody named Sparkle in the My Little
No,
Pony.
but I saw somebody named Smitten Kitten the other day. She's probably in that guild.
For fuck's sake.
I was like, damn, I was going to use that for my Cathar.
That is definitely our guild name of the week. I didn't have any LFG heroes or LFG losers, although there was one I should have put in the LFG losers, but I didn't remember their name. And I ran a few runs with my wife on Nolani, and she was using. You remember what that character's name is?
Malachi.
Oh, Malachi. That's right. So she's healing on Malachi. Well, we run into this. I want to say it was a Jedi Shadow, but we were running with the Shadow, I think, because it had the dual bladed lightsaber. Well, the dual bladed lightsaber is what they use, and I think the Jedi Sentinel uses two. Well, Sentinel uses two lightsabers, and the Shadow uses one dual bladed lightsaber. But this guy, thought he was Captain Smartass. Like, he kept trying to knock the robots off all the way through Catamaru. One of the guys just left group because he couldn't load in fast enough or whatever. So we're running through Catamaru, and he's knocking the champion droids off it left and right, and thinks he's all cool. Well, one of the things that kind of pissed me off was that he kept dropping into stealth, thinking that he was going to make it past shit or would walk up to shit, and would constantly end up aggroing and causing me to do more work, which is not what I want to do. I'm a tank. I want to grab a group of people and just be done with it. I don't want to fuck around with all this extra little shit because you thought you'd be a smartass and fucking sneak around.
Right.
Well, as you know, and some of our listeners may know, I took up all gathering professions on Nolani. I've got slicing, scavenging, and
bioanalysis.
Is it bio? No, it's not bio. It's slicing, scavenging, and something else, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But nonetheless, anyway, so I can break the locks. I can repair the locks in Kenamimu. And he goes the other fucking direction and aggroes a group, and I'm like, over here, dumbass. And he's like, ooh, someone's a sourpuss, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, who the fuck says sourpuss? And then he tells me to fucking grow up. Tells me to fucking grow up. What you fucking mean grow up? Who the fuck are you calling a sourpuss? What fucking 12-year-olds use sourpuss?
Nobody. He's an old part.
Please stop. Sourpuss. Fucking retard. You're the asshole that's running off in the traffic instead of fucking playing out where you should be.
I am totally naming my Cathar that. I'm going to save it today. Yep. I'm saving it as soon as the damn thing's over.
But, the guy's calling me a sourpuss, and I'm like, if you'd follow me, you'd know where we were going. And they literally, I go through the gates, and I go and aggro a group of, 8 mobs, right? And instead of helping fight, archaeology, that's the other one she has, yes. You got it. Good. Yeah, that's right, because we were taking shortcuts in that other run I did.
Right.
But instead of being part of the fight, the group of mobs I fucking just aggroed, instead of doing that, no, she's got to type me out a 15-page letter in chat about how I'm such a sourpuss and I need to calm down and I need to grow up and I'm blah, 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 blah.
How about you kill shit instead of typing?
Yeah. And he's like, maybe you should learn from your mistakes. I typed in, I did learn, bye.
Bye.
I just fucking left group because I told the wife I was so pissed off. Okay, I understand. You have stealth. That's cool. Awesome, you have stealth. So does my operative, and I use it.
Yeah.
But I follow the tank because in that particular run, the little ads that run around, they're literally they scan for stealth.
Right,
and
they're looking for stealth. Right. If you're in stealth and that little, it's like a little light. It's a little circle light type thing. Floats above somebody's, like an eyeball, yeah. It floats above somebody's head. They might not see you, but that's indicating that they can. So stay away.
But I put the guy on ignore, and I was like, yeah, I learned something. You're an idiot, and now I don't have to play with you.
Mm-hmm.
And he, of course, sends me a tell
Best thing
right
about
before I
ignore.
could ignore was, please, you're such a sourpuss. Uninstall the game until you grow up. And listen, one, if you're playing an MMO, please just listen to your tank. Tanks can be dickish if you don't listen.
Mm.
And that run, because he's telling me how he got us such great easy XP by knocking the fucking droids off, and that's not what happened. But
Speaking of dicks, I don't mean to jump in the middle here, but I do remember something that happened this week.
Jumping in the middle the whole time.
I know. That's my job. Anyways, speaking of dicks, so I'm jumping around trying to get some more money to get Suiza some gear before she hit 50. So I jump on Landray, which I haven't jumped on in forever, right? So I'm checking the mail and I'm sending something, and some asshole merc decides that he's going to target me and shoot freaking green goo at me the whole time, healing, right? He just kept healing, and I'm like, what the fuck, Kept healing, jumping around, kept healing, and I'm like, what the fuck? There's like 50 people standing around me. This son of a bitch has to target me and spam his shit, right?
Rapid shots, yeah.
Yeah, rapid shots. So, I type in say, I said, hey, stop it, Spam, right? Yeah. So this asshole, then he goes in and he types in stuff like noob, and I'm ignoring him. My Wookiee has better hair than you, or some stupid thing, right? Whatever, right? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, go away. So instead, I don't respond, back to him as a jerk or anything. I'm used to these 12-year-olds running around doing this type of crap. So I just went ahead and said, okay, ignore, and just for the hell of it, report for spam. This retard's name was Hunthar. Can't even spell hunter right. It's Hunthar. So then, after I'm going off on vent, Kiwi says, hey, read my comments. Fucker. It was Kiwi. Yeah. But I didn't take him off the report, and I didn't take him off ignore, so.
It was great, too, because you were going fucking nuts.
Oh, man.
This motherfucker won't leave me alone. He's just spamming his heels. And then, of course, Kiwi goes, hey, what's that noise?
Yeah, Kiwi
That's
slammed
that
up.
fucker healing me.
Yeah,
He's playing into it.
Jerk, man.
Oh, Kevin would have been
Kiwi,
proud if he'd been there.
That was great, Kiwi. That was very nice. Thank you very much for that. Yes.
But I did see Antilles on. Sudo said that we lost UU7 from the guild, who was the one who helped put up the money for our initial guild bank. So unfortunately, UU7 was gone. But he probably thought we quit the game because we were playing on the pubs for like the last month and a half.
Antilles, I was on Lanyard, and I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? And I was like, I haven't seen you in a while. And he's like, yeah, I've been playing the pub side. It's like, so have we. And he's like, oh, cool. So I got him on Suiza, I've got him as on friends list there. So
you'll have to tell me.
I don't remember what it was, but it was some strange name. But so we'll have to get him in the Boulder Dash Guild.
Boulder Dash Guild, yeah. And the wife was pissed about that. Well, somebody better give me $5 fucking grand because I just spent $5 fucking grand on the goddamn guild name.
We should have let her buy the guild bank too first.
Ooh, she'd have killed us. I'm in the house. She'd have slopped my balls off. Well, I did find a funny name because I was playing on my and it's not funny like in haha. It was funny as an oddball. And I thought I saw you or one of your characters because I saw Lanny in the front of the name.
Oh, it was like Lanatif.
It was Lanayu.
Lanayu, yeah.
LANYAYU.
Yeah,
I was like
Lanayu.
I was like.
I saw that one, and I saw Lanny. I saw LAN. I saw another one. It was like LANYARF or something like that. Lanarf.
I was on every day. I was checking out all the planets. I did all my normal stuff on my 50s to get the money up, and then make that purple shit. That reminds me. Did that blaster or the blaster? Oh
yeah, Suiza was rocking that blaster.
Blaster cannon I gave you.
Blaster cannon at level 48. As soon as I hit 48, it was great too because I hit 48 turning in a mission that was like right next to the bank. So I was like, pull that out. Gave Arik my hand me down,
Yeah.
But now that assault cannon has level 50, the daily whatever level that is, the 51, I think, the level 51 barrel and enhancement in it, so it's really chewing. And of course, like I said, she's got the ricotta, the inheritance pants with the ricotta gearing that I got from Lanyard when that ricotta pair of pants dropped. I just put all the gear in there, so she's got level 56 pants on, and she just dinged 50, so that's awesome.
But yeah, that Lanyard, I saw that and I was like, is that Lanyard?
Nope, not me.
All right, well, that looks like about it for my notes, my week. I'm just, man, I hope I can get into another EV. I just hope that the fucking boots, when they drop it, are mine and not some fucking scrub who came in and shit gear. And it made me laugh, too, because I kept thinking of Antilles and his run on hard mode. We just couldn't down that first boss.
Right.
I felt so bad. But, here was one guy who proved that you can get carried at 50.
Yeah. Well, we had a bunch of scrubs in that one. Well, I shouldn't say scrubs. None of us were scrubs. We had all played it before, but the majority of us, except for like Diggy, was on their alts. So we were just not. And then they wanted me to tank, and I'm like, oh, no. So.
All right, so I think I'm done bullshitting about my week. We've heard Lanyard's week, so let's get into what little news I could find.
Here's your galactic news. Look what you missed while you were sleeping.
All right, so there's the newsreel. Of course, the patch note was minute at best. Resolved an issue that could allow players to obtain Grand Acquisition race items without completing the appropriate missions. Ooh. So no fixes, no bug, blah blah blahs. The big news actually came with their re-announcement of the new race. The new race of being Cathar coming in the near future. They were at GamesCon, and they were talking about how they were releasing the new raid. They were releasing new PvP content. They were releasing new war zones, new operations. Though we heard it 2 weeks ago, roughly in the Q&A, they actually said that they weren't going to worry about doing new tiers of gear. But apparently, like Blizzard does frequently, backpedaling a bit, they're actually going to release a tier of gear that will be the junior or near equivalent to that of campaign gear that is currently only obtainable through nightmare mode, nightmare modes, and apparently they're going to find a way, and it's not going to be exactly the same. Nightmare mode gear is still going to be better than this gear, apparently. So if you want something almost the equivalent, you'll be able to do the new raid, which I believe, the operation is being called Terror from Beyond, which I actually thought was kind of cool. The idea of taking on a race from an entirely different plane, possibly of existence, or being trapped in one of the infinite number of different zones. It says they're going to introduce the planet Makeb, the Operation Terror from Beyond. They didn't say exactly what the war zone was going to be. I'm still hoping that they're going to do something like we talked about with Winter Grasp, where the Terror from Beyond is inside of the Makeb PvP zone, and it works itself together that way.
I was reading somewhere on Gamescom that some people were actually able to play the new Warzone, so I guess we'd have to look into see if there's anything on that. Maybe somebody stole some YouTube thing. Yet.
I haven't seen any video from the new Warzone. I know that they were talking about dropping the new Warzone in the German game convention that they were having. And I'm really interested to see what they'll do with the new Warzone. We've got Capture the Flag, we've got Bombing Run, we've got point-to-point protection with Novara Coast, we've got Annoyance with Hutball. I don't know if they're introducing maybe they'll introduce a new sport. I really would like to see at least 2 new war zones released sometime soon. That way we have a good 5 or 6 to have a possibility.
Some bigger ones. Some bigger ones would be nice. Somewhere where we have more than just 8 on 8.
Or if they can figure out how to
neaten
it up a bit. Some like we've said previously, some war zones based on vehicle or slight vehicle combat. I think that would be a lot more fun. Of course, we also had the fantastic event this week-ish, the Chevin conglomerate. Myself, I found absolutely no reason to get it. The wife was able to get a really nice pet out of it. A few other people I seen around Fleet were driving what has been dubbed the Walmart mount. You said you didn't have a chance to get it, but you were hoping to.
First off, I want to just say thanks for putting the event in. I think that it's a great distraction. It's also nice to drop those in once in a while to give the people that have got all the campaign gear and they're just bored doing the same old thing. So it's kind of nice to go do that. And I thought the scavenger hunt idea was great. The rewards, I wasn't all that impressed with. I mean, I like the social gear thing, the revamp of the Tusken Raider stuff was kind of cool. It looks good. It's a great mix. I personally like that speeder. I thought it was really cool. At first I was like, it's trashed out. Who the fuck would ride this thing? It's all smoking and sparking, and I was like, who the hell would ride it? And then I saw a couple people riding it around. I was like, I wish I had time to go get that. Riding at 90% is kind of lame though. I think they did it at 90% because it's a lower level type thing.
Well, and
lower level people can do it.
Right.
And it's supposed to be 90%. It's trashed out. Hello,
I didn't mind the speed. I was just weirded out by the design. I mean, in most games when you get a new mount, it's something new and more fantastic than the last one. This one was kind of a weird one. It was like a rent-a-speeder. And Nar Shaddaa, when we were doing our missions, I want to say it was on Nar Shaddaa, when we did our missions on the Imperial side, there were the rent-a-speeders. It was the planet before you actually got your mount.
They were cut in half, and they only did like 10% of your speed. I mean, you could only run as fast as they went. Yeah, I know.
That was cool. I thought the design. Okay, in general creativity, it was actually kind of cool. The idea that one of the jets were smoking, one of the jets were working appropriately, and then you had sparks that shot out on both sides like a capacitor had blown, and it was just arcing.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't enough for me to want to get it.
That was the only thing.
It was cool enough to feel original.
Yeah.
I was hoping that when they were introducing a new mount, that we might see a new Paracel mount like the one that they had released for the Refer a Friend mount.
Which, by the way, I'm still waiting for mine.
Yeah. Well, one day, open a ticket. But it was interesting the way they brought it out. The idea of the news hubs. Which of course we were able to utilize some of the images for our podcast. Which thank you,
because I was a little upset we didn't have. I didn't think of that back during the Raccool play. I was like, oh, that would have been perfect. And then they came out with this. I was like, oh, score, record. But on that speeder thing, the only thing that I kind of wish. I don't mind the speed thing because I could understand 90%. It's broken. It's a busted up speeder. But the one thing I wish is that the smoke would last a little longer. So, like, when people go running by with blowing that smoke in your face, it just kind of hovers there for a little bit longer, like, or make people cough, or it makes people go, when it tries. That would have been great, But, I didn't care for the, that was it. I mean, the crossbow thing was cool. The only thing I thought about the crossbow was, on my smuggler, I should bust my butt to get the smuggler, but then, so I can finally give Bodar his crossbow that he's supposed to have, but then he can't use it. I'm like, what fucking Wookiee doesn't use a crossbow? That's what their main weapon is. They give him some stupid busted up lightsaber thing. I don't know. Anyways.
But the wife did get a kind of a cool pet. It was identical to the pet that we all got from having done our server transfers. It was a slightly different color.
Bleached out is all.
Right. It was white instead of the brownish, grayish thing that we got for transferring. Of course, as you said, the Tusken Raider revamp. Mm-hmm. I actually like the revamp a little bit more than I do the original. The idea of it's nearly like a black camo or an urban camo design was definitely cool.
So
obviously, a lot of people had it.
Yeah.
And of course, you got the advent of a new title, depending on which side you play and who you decide to give your stuff.
They also had some unique pets as well. That little purple thing, which was kind of cool. I mean, but for myself, at the time when it came out, I was like, oh, cool, this is great, a new event. But I was so focused on getting Squeeza running up that I just said, you know what? I just don't have time to go all over the galaxy looking for these things, so I didn't do it. But so yeah. But hey, thanks for bringing it. I want to say thanks for bringing it. I'm not downing it. I just didn't have time to do it. I just didn't have.
Well, my biggest thing is, I like the fact that they have these random events. I think that giving people a little bit of advance notice on it would have been nice, because quite literally when it dropped, we got a patch, it came out, and then we were into it. Mm-hmm. There wasn't like, give me a week, they say, hey, everybody, there's rumors of a blah, 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 blah.
Right, some type of build-up.
Yeah, some type of build-up, like, the Chevin conglomerate have been spotted on Nar Shaddaa. Mm. Something like that prior to the release to build it up a little bit more. I mean, obviously, watching the wife try to get the items here and there, it was obvious that people had picked up on it, and it would have been nice to just have a little bit more warning, so I could be like, oh, hey, the Chevin thing's going to happen this weekend. I'm going to jump in.
Right.
And I didn't see that at all, which kind of upset me. Not because of the fact that, it was just sprung on us and it's short-lived, because we got the same thing when we got the rat ghoul outbreak, which lasted significantly longer, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. It was about a month long. This one here was like a week.
A week, yeah. That was my only major issue with it. Now, granted, of course, once again, I didn't care to get into it, period, so it didn't make a big shit difference to me. But with the other people, it looks like it apparently wasn't that hard to get all your gear, get all the things together, because my wife had the full, revamped Tusken Raider gear.
Yeah, they dropped a lot of coins. They dropped a lot of badges. I mean, I could have done it, but the only thing I wanted was a speeder, and I was like, I just don't have the time.
But it was cool that they had released another one. It's great to know that they're still thinking of events. We had made Lanyard, you had made the off the cuff remark like, well, this is probably something they already had in the poll, and they were like, fuck it, send it out,
throw it out, get it done. That seems like I feel like as if that's kind of what they're doing. They've had a bunch of stuff that they were kind of working on. They had maybe some notes written up on it. Maybe some developers were throwing together some piece here and there, and then somebody came down the pipe and said, hey, get that shit out now. Do it as quick as you can. Let's just be done with it.
It was on the whiteboard. They were like, go with it.
Right. So, but I would like to say thanks for bringing those Chevin people in. Glad to know what their race is called. Because I think a few episodes ago I had mentioned, these creatures are on Nar Shaddaa. You can click on them, but they don't do anything. I mean, what the hell's the purpose? Well,
they
now we know.
talked about those guys and their secret stealth technology when we were.
No. That's different.
Really, they look the same.
No. The ones
I could be handicapped.
When you go into that camp, those Chevin people, those Chevin race is there, okay, and that's where you pick up the quest to go bust open the stealth people. But the stealth people are the ones with the goggles and the really long snout, not the alligator snout, but the really long, and they talk like those people. That's a different race.
Fucking sounds
but you could. Well, I wanted to give it, the people that. Anyway, but the Chevin you could click on, and he would say something like, "It's really hard on this planet," and blah blah blah, and you're like, okay, so who are you? Why are you standing here? But now we know. Now he's. I like the fact that they're part of a underground or underworld, crime syndicate, which. They always have these in games. It's like you've got the good guys, and then you got the bad guys, and we're all against the crime syndicate. And I'm like, I want to be part of the crime syndicate. That's who I want to be a part of. And while I wanted to be a part of the, on the Alliance side, I wanted to be a part of the Revenhold. I didn't want to be a part of, Alliance, or I wanted to be my rogue. I was a rogue, so I wanted to be a rogue. I wanted to go to the Alliance when I needed to, or go to the Horde guys when I needed to. I wanted to be my own little people. And on the Horde side, I wanted to be part of the pirates. I wanted to be the whatever the call the pirates were that you had to you got the exalted or the with to get the hat. I wanted to be a part of that. That's who I wanted to be in. With this, with my bounty hunter, he should be taking money where he can find it, whether it's Alliance or Alliance. Fuck that up. Whether it's Republic or Imperial. So yeah.
Right. But it was cool that they did have a new event. And of course, I was looking at Forbes and the Game Examiner, and they talk about the new upcoming content. Of course, everybody's seen the video. It was posted on Facebook. I think we posted it on our Facebook page.
I just ran it here too. Yep.
Okay, so it's running somewhere on the screen. I'm not entirely sure where. Based on our
just below your chin. Well, it's done playing now.
But as I make faces that you won't see.
That nobody will see. Yeah, I took a screenshot and I'll post it on Facebook.
But it's nice to see that they still have new content, although they have yet to say exactly when the new content is going to be coming out. Now, they did say on the Forbes page, which I thought was interesting, it says, what Star Wars Old Republic Gamescom presentation was missing. They talk about how, EA had, pumped out all this great news for all these other titles that they're interested in. It's Dead Space 3, and, they were talking crazy news about NHL, 2013. And then, of course, when they started off the conference with BioWare's, with the general manager from BioWare, Matthew Bromberg, which we talked about last week, apparently he started the conversation off with virtual currency. Because everybody's excited about virtual currency. Of course, he did go over the new game content as well, but the thing is, we're gamers. We want to hear about the game content. We don't want to hear about the in-game market or the virtual currency. Yeah. For those of us who are going to get a ton of it for being loyal fans, awesome. But they're talking about space missions. They're talking about new PvP. The PvP, according to Forbes listings, is going to be called the Ancient Hypergate. So, that's on its way out, which is pretty awesome. He talked about the Grand Acquisition, which was the Chevin event that we just recently had. So, they did touch on a few good things. But it's one of those things where, you bring it in and you really want to push for the big news. Nobody gives a shit about the currency. This is at the point of, the release of this article, of course, it's 2-3 weeks old. We've all been talking about it. It's old hat. And it's interesting how it came up in the lineup. Their interpretation of the way the story went down was interesting. They said that Matt was very, meaningful when he was talking about it. He said that, EA and BioWare are very completely behind the free-to-play model. They look forward to adding more people to the game just through the free-to-play model, which once again reinforces everything that we've talked about throughout the game, which is the fact that they are banking on this bringing them more people, and it will. As to the quality or quantity, that will remain to be seen. Now, we've still yet to hear exactly when they're going to release the free-to-play the free-to-play options, or for that matter, November. When they're going to release the new game content. Well, that's what we're figuring is November, right before the holiday.
Pretty much whatever all the forums have been saying too. So yeah, that's the best.
I mean, they haven't given out exact ones, but that's probably when it's going to come out. The idea of a new operation, kind of fun for me. I've yet to still run DeNova
or EC. Yeah.
I haven't run any of the hard mode, the nightmare mode content. I've gotten through a little bit of hard mode on Rakat and Naga. I'm actually looking forward to seeing if we can get some runs on our pubs. So hopefully I can get my pub out of his crate, get her to 50 sometime eventually.
Sometime before Christmas.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But it's interesting to see that they're still pushing out content. It's interesting to see what the people at Forbes, the people at all the other locations are saying as far as the Game Examiner. But news really, really kind of stagnant this week. We didn't get a Q&A. They said it was because the Grand Acquisition or the Chevin said we had to wait another week for it, which I thought was kind of shitty. I think it's because they were going, well, how can we not get slapped across the face for answering shitty questions?
Or maybe there just was no decent questions to answer, or it was the same redundant shit about free-to-play. It was the same redundant shit about crap they've answered 100 times. Maybe they finally listened to us and said, let's stop answering crap that people could just find on the internet.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not that I look forward to Q&A every week.
Yeah.
We had a couple of great Q&As where it was really great and intelligent speech.
Yeah.
It was some eloquent writing. At this point, it makes me wonder if they softball it on weeks they just don't feel like dealing with the Q&A.
Yeah.
Like
maybe.
they have a receptionist come in and just answer these fucking questions.
Yeah. And whatever, just throw something in there. Yeah.
Says.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that to be a dick, but that seems to be the way the last Q&A was.
Mm.
Now,
maybe I should get on there and start asking questions. Go under a different name each time. A bunch of questions.
You can be Lanyard, Lenny, Squiggy, Scooby, Doobie, Hoobie, Doobie, Schnooby. But, you know, I would love to have some more questions answered, some more pertinent information. I'd like to see them release, you know, hard facts on the content that we're getting. Because we've been told for months we're going to get a new Cathar, or we're going to get the Cathar as a new race. We haven't been told as whether or not it'll have factional alignment, or if it'll just be like, here, everyone, play with your pussy.
Or whether it can wear a hat.
Yeah. Yeah, my Mariluka still can't. As a matter of fact, I was checking the dev notes, and they said, oh, yes, we've addressed this question. Please refer to this forum. Because there's still a bunch of shit that my Mariluka can't wear.
I found a hole in the world the other day.
A hole in the world? Like,
yeah.
Did you fall through?
No. I probably could have. I should have walked over instead of. But I was Belsavis. I was running around in some of the upper part of Belsavis, and there was this gigantic rock, right? And I was running by it, and I stopped because I could see sky beneath the rock. And I was like, what? So I turned and I looked, and there was a perfect square, you know, just a perfect little rectangle of empty space, and you could see, and you get close to it, you look down and you zoom up, you know, so you can see first person, and you could actually see, you know, the sky, because, you know, how they have the sky is the sky and the bottom half of the rock. There was a hole in the world. I was like, you think somebody would notice this? It's like, it's just this hole in the world.
Well, I've seen that, but it's more an issue with the server loading the server in my computer loading the area.
I've seen that too. I mean, like if you stand in the right position. In fact, I got some video of Suiza killing some stuff where the camera was in the exact position to where you could see her and all the stuff I'm killing, and I'm just in a gigantic blue sky. It was kind of cool looking, so I recorded that. But it's only if you put the camera in the right, and it's just like these splits in the world, like you said. But I thought it was weird that it was just like this gigantic hole in this one spot, and no matter where I moved my camera, it was still there. So I think it was actually a glitch. But yeah. So I mean, that was pretty interesting. And what were you saying before I interrupted you rudely again?
It doesn't fucking matter. I don't remember.
Whether or not we can wear hats. That's right.
But yeah, I'd like to see them stop softballing. I'd like to see them hit some actual hard questions because, let's face it, most of the fans, we're asking the hard questions now. We're like, okay, well, you're going free to play. What does that mean for us? You know, you're releasing this content, or you're alluding to releasing content. We have no hard dates. We have no hard facts. We barely have cinematics. You know, and most of the cinematics that we've seen are just rehashes of shit we've already seen. I haven't seen the beta come back up, or the test server come back up.
Oh. And you know, there was one thing that I was kind of curious about. Did it say? I have to play it again. Maybe I'll play it after play it again just for the viewers after Sudo's segment. But I thought it said something about a world builder in the video. I was like, what the hell is that supposed to be? Build your own world? What the hell is this, Minecraft now?
Yeah, I hope that's not what they fucking said, because that would be weird.
Yeah. Anyways.
But I mean, they really are offering up some interesting and new content. As to whether or not it will be substantial enough, once again, for us to be all about running back into the game, and you know, or for that matter, get more people that are subs to resub is the question. And it always has been. It always will be for us, at least until we know for a fact that that's what's going to happen. I am excited to play Cathar. We talked about it before. I'd like to play a fat Cathar and name him Garfield, or maybe I'll take it to the
get that name fast.
Heathcliff.
I was thinking. I went on Wikipedia the other day just to look up fictional cat names, right? Yeah. And of course, Wikipedia has everything. So of course, it pulls up a page and it's got like 50 different. I mean, from cats from Star Trek, cats from different TV shows, cats from cartoons, cats from comic books. So I was looking through them, and I couldn't find any female cat names because I'm making a female Cathar. But it was a bunch of males, from Garfield to Felix to of course Cheshire. Then there was what I thought though what was it from? I don't remember what it was from, but it was called. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it was Cait. So Kate, and it was Kayet Sith. And it was the name of a cat. And I was like, wait a minute, Kayet Sith? Are you kidding me? That's awesome. It's a Sith cat, awesome. So but I don't know. Again, like you said, we don't know if it's going to be Republic only or
Right.
I think they're probably going to make it like the pandas. You can play either side. So
Right.
because it's just too goddamn difficult to come up with a new fucking race for the Imperials.
Right.
I want to be a hammerhead guy. Then I can bitch about helmets not fitting.
But I would like to see, and I hope my listening to that video over top of you didn't fucking fuck up the audio. But,
I was wondering what all that damn noise was.
No, really?
No, just kidding. Fuck
Oh, fucking with me. Fuck. Well, I was trying to figure out what you saw.
I was going to play it again.
Yeah, I hadn't watched it in a while, but they talk. The idea of the new Warzone, looking at the video, looks to be a little different than what we're used to. It almost looks like a single objective protection type of deal, like sit on the flag and try to keep them off of it
for a time,
for a duration, right?
And then whoever holds it longest wins.
Right, and I've seen that in first-person shooters. I couldn't imagine how well it's going to execute in a PvP scenario for an MMO.
Depends on how you build it, I guess.
But I think thinking outside the box on PvP may be what helps.
Yeah.
We're used to the straight-up battles. We're used to
capture the flag,
right?
Keep the posts. Yeah.
Right. We need something that changes it up once in a while. So hopefully this is a boon for them.
Which is what Hutball did.
Yeah. Because Hutball, when we first got into
completely out of the box, it's like, holy shit!
We were all dumbfounded. Like, wait, I got to do something other than kill people, and it literally took the first 2 months, I think, before people realized they were supposed to catch the fucking ball
or how to throw it, right? Or how to stay off the barbecues, or out of the green goo.
Which I have fun pulling people into.
I hate that shit much. I'm getting better at putting people in it.
Yes, that is my whole objective on my Republic Trooper is to pull you into the goo and freeze you until you die.
See, and I don't have the grapple, so I have to use the knockback. And what I do is I knock you back and then throw freeze at you, so you sit there and then die.
But I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they execute it once again. With the new with the new planet, I'll be happy to get some new missions under my belt. Though we may or may not see a upgrade in a level cap.
Which actually right now is kind of good, because now that I got 3 at 50.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I want to see a big level cap increase. I don't know if I want to even see level cap increase. Yes, it was somewhat easy to get to 50 for the majority of players. As to whether or not getting there and then getting geared after hitting there was really easy for people is questionable. Yeah. But I really don't want another 10 levels just yet.
Not yet. No, I want to be able to get through at least the operations they have.
Yeah, and because if they introduce another 10 levels, you then have to get better than war hero gear,
better than companion gear.
Yeah. So that one's kind of a mishmash. New planet, new space missions, new Cathar race, new PvP zone. If they throw me one more PvP zone, and I don't know, I'm just wondering how Sith corruption's going to look on Cathar.
Yeah, see, they've got. Well, I don't know. It's gonna fade them out just like it does all.
You go from an orange pussy to a yellow pussy.
To like a
well, what if you're
orange.
A white pussy? Do you turn into a gray pussy?
I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. But anyways,
that's
the other thing though. I'll talk about it after Sudo's thing, but I want to bring up some issues with level cap. So.
Well, write down your note.
I am.
And let's go to Sudo.
Let's go to Sudo.
Hello everyone, this is Sudo, your Galactic Librarian, continuing with Chapter 2, Part 2. To her left, another Maasai hacked mightily and mutilely regarded the result, a handful of dripping scar tissue. Corson looked at the quartermaster and asked drearily, "Is that normal?" "You know it's not," Ravelin snarled. From across the clearing, Devore Corson charged in, shoving his son into Sela's hands before she was done wiping them. He seized the brute's massive wrist, looking for himself. His eyes flared at his brother, but Maasai are tougher than any. "Anything they can punch, kick, or strangle," Corson said. An alien planet, however, was an alien planet. They hadn't had time to do a bioscan, and all the equipment was high above. Devore followed Sela, backing away from the sickly Masai. 80 of the creatures had survived the crash. Corson learned that Ravelin's assistants were burning a third of those survivors, even then, over the hillside. Whatever unseen thing it was on this planet that was killing the Masai, it was doing it quickly. Ravelin showed him the stinking pyre. "They're not far enough away," Corson said. "From whom?" Ravelin responded. "Is that depression a permanent camp? Should we remove to a different mountain?" "Enough, Rav. No witty comeback. I am surprised. You at least planned that far ahead." Corson had fenced with Ravelin on earlier missions, but now wasn't the time. "I said enough. We've surveyed below. You saw it? There's nowhere to go." There were beaches at the bottom of the bluff, but they terminated against the oily cliffs that began the next mountain in the chain, and going farther along the chain meant trips through tangles of razor-sharp brambles. "We don't need an expedition. We're not staying." "I should hope not," Ravelin said, his own nose turned by the smell of the fires. "But your brother, I mean, Captain Corson's other son, feels we shouldn't wait to return." Yaru Corson stopped. "I have the transmitter codes. It's my call to make." He looked up at the second, more distant smoky plume far above. "When it's safe." "Yes, by all means, when it's safe." The commander hadn't wanted Devore on the mission. Years earlier he had been relieved when his half-brother had abandoned a naval career, drifting into the Sith's mineralogical service. Power and riches were more easily had there, searching for gems and force-imbued crystals. With their father's sponsorship, Devore had become a specialist in using plasma weapons and scanning equipment. The recent conflict with the Jedi found him in high demand, and assigned with his team to Omen. Corson wondered whom he'd played a joke on to deserve that. He'd been told Devore officially answered to him, but that would have been a first. Not even Sith Lords were that powerful. "You should have kept us in orbit." "We were never in orbit." Corson recognized the voice of the navigator, Markham, coming from over the dusty rise. He already knew the other one. The old man was trying to push his way out of the crowd when Corson topped the hill at full run. Devore's miners weren't letting Boyle go. "You don't know my job," he yelled. "I did all that I could. Oh, what's the use talking to—" Just as Corson reached the clearing, the crowd surged forward as if pulled down a drain. One sickeningly familiar crackle followed another. "No!" Corson saw the lightsaber first, rolling toward his feet when he breached the crowd. His father's old helmsman lay ahead, gutted. Next to Sela and Jared stood Devore, his lightsaber glowing crimson in the lengthening shadows. "The navigator attacked first," Sela said. The commander gawked. "What difference does it make?" Corson charged into the center, lifting the loose lightsaber into his hand with the force. Devore stood his ground, smiling gently and keeping his lightsaber burning. His dark eyes had a wild look, a familiar one. He was shaking a little, but not from fear, not fear Yaru Corson could feel. The commander knew it was something else, something more dangerous. He turned Markham's unlit weapon tip down and shook it. "That was our navigator, Devore. What if the star charts don't work?" "I can find our way back," Devore said smartly. You'll have to. Corson grew conscious of the mix around him. Gold uniformed miners in the circle, yes, but bridge crew too. A red-faced Sith, not Ravlin, but one of his cronies. He was undeterred. This is not going to do any good, any of you. We wait here until it's safe to return to the ship. That's all. Alright, everybody, tune in next week for Chapter 2, Part 3.
Alright, and that looks like another great episode of the Sudo's Galactic Librarian, of course. Lanyard, you're still on mute, buddy.
God. I need a
Nicola.
yeah, I know I need a, what are those, intern. I need an intern to do all this shit. I wanted to apologize to the people that were listening. I didn't realize that I had the ambient sound turned all the way up, so for a few seconds there we had quite a loud noise in the background, and I was trying to figure out how to turn it down, so I got it caught up. So I apologize for that. Anyway.
Well, for the video watchers at the very least.
Well, no, it's going to be, well, yeah, because you're going to have, yeah.
I have a slightly
You have a slightly different audio, which, yeah. Well, anyway, so, that was great.
My audio's nearly glitch-free.
My shit's never right. Speaking of which, for all those people that are watching, please give me feedback on whether or not you like the new background,
new
layout. Yeah, so I worked a little bit on that. Right now we've got Lanyard dancing.
In the middle of two gigantic screens with our faces plastered to them.
That's right. So, but
more stuff courtesy of SWTOR.
Right. So I wanted to talk about, if they do level cap, how,
or raise
level cap to say 60. Are they also going to raise your evil side or your evil light? I mean, obviously I don't know if they'd have to technically raise the PvP scale, because it goes up to 100 anyway.
Right.
And that's like already kind of set for quite a few levels. Yeah. But I mean, your social only goes up to 10. And that probably wouldn't be too bad to leave alone. But your dark side, light side only goes to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, your companions, are they going to get more talkie, or
going to get more companions?
I hope not, because Jesus, 5 I think is enough. I mean, other than HK51, which they haven't alluded to since they did. So maybe,
which was supposed to be something else that came with the newest the next. And
if you watch the video, which I will play right now, to kind of go again so people can see again, that. It doesn't mention anything about him, so. No.
And I think it's when it comes to the HK idea, they're trying to figure out how they're going to work him back into it. The initial idea was that you had to have a 50 on both factions, and that's how you then did a mission to unlock him, which I thought was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the droid factory or the droid storage facility, I think they alluded that they were going to put that on like Tatooine. And make it a Tatooine bonus mission for 50s to be able to go and get that unlocked. But if it's per 50, then that's going to be a pain in the ass for people who have a multitude of vaults. But I don't see that being a big deal. I would, as far as the level cap goes, I think 10 might be helpful for people who want more. If they make it too easy to get that 10, I think they're going to see backlash, just like Blizzard did when they went from 80 to 85.
Yeah.
Everybody had an 85 within a week, in less than a week.
3 days. The darn cats.
Wookiee.
Oh, is that the Wookiee again?
Yeah, it's the Wookiee. I love the wife. But if they raise it 10 and make it a challenge to get that extra 10, then I'm okay with it. If they make it 10 and everybody gets that 10 in a day, there's an issue. Obviously, from our experience making multiple 50s, that last 10 levels seemed to take forever. But that was more in our minds than it was in the game, because a lot of people make that quick jump from 40 to 50 pretty quickly.
That and it's supposed to. I mean, as you level, it's supposed to take longer and longer to level because you're supposed to be getting more and more experience points, which it slows you down, which is fine. So if they did the next 10 and they said, okay, 51 is going to be double what it took, what 50 is, and then so on and so forth, it'll slow people down. It'll give people more time to do content. It'll aggro the shit out of people that want to be, level capped in a week.
Right.
But, it'll give the casual player a little more time to get stuff done. I don't know.
Or the people who are enjoying the content that we did all the way up to 50, you can actually enjoy some more storyline. I'll be interested more to see if they introduce a level, they raise the level cap a bit. I'll be more interested to see what they do in realm of storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
What they're going to do to engage us. Because as we got to 50, it was less about us as a person and more about what we're doing for the grand scheme.
Right. Yeah.
So when they do introduce it, they've got to give us, one, a reason to make it relevant, story mode wise, other than the hardcores who just blast to the top level and then call it a day.
Far through it.
Yeah. They've got to give us a reason or a want or a compelling enough storyline that makes us intrigued by the idea.
Yeah.
And of course, the downside of that, of course, is that when they announced free to play, they said free to play to 50. So if they raise the level cap, part of our quote unquote premium as paid members was that we were going to get content that free to play would not be able to get into.
Right.
Other than just the ops, you've got PvP. That would possibly entail the idea of that last 10 levels. And that brings in a really hairy situation because the whole point of free to play was that you could play it all.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they go at either one of those options. Now we do slightly off the SWTOR and more to the Sith talk news, side of things. Next week we were debating on when we were going to record, if we were going to record, if we're going to take a week off, if we're going to drop the episode in late.
Yeah.
With the response of our Man on the Street segment from last week, I want to throw it out there to our listeners. I can record at different times if I chose to, while Lanyard's making the transition. Obviously, Joe and I had a fairly good show last week, a fairly good interview for last week. Wouldn't mind trying to see what that would work out for the hour and a half, hour 45 we're currently trying to record for. Or for that matter, I got Joe hooked up. He's now in as sharing a Dropbox with me so that I can pull his parts into the program.
Kiwi also has Dropbox as well. So
okay, but if you guys want to be a part of the show, one, you can either send us an email at Sith Talk. And I'll be happy to correspond with you through my personal Gmail to get you set up if you want to drop segments in. We obviously there's tons of people out there playing. If you want to do 5-minute segment on an op, or you're a big PvPer, or for that matter you just want to do something goofy, man, throw it out there. Let me know. Be happy to share a Dropbox with you and be able to throw a little bit of fan items in there. Now I know Joe Hagan. He said he's going to work on doing a lore bit since Sudo's covering the books.
Cool.
He's entrenched in the lore, and he was thinking about doing that. I want to say I get his Dropbox was the Joe Hagan lore monger, so we'll have to maybe work on that show segment's name.
Nice.
But that particular segment's name. But if you guys want to be a part of the show, please feel free. Drop us an email at sithtalk@gmail.com. For those of you watching on YouTube, take a look at what's scrolling. If you want to be part of our show, or if you think, hey, I'd love to fill in for Lanyard this week, give me a call. We'll do a test record on Skype and see what can happen. I can, like I did with Joe, I called him on Saturday. Saturdays are my off days. We can get it done. Otherwise, me and Lanyard will work out when we can record again and either record a show later, a day or two later into the week.
It all depends on how fast I can get my internet up too over there.
Right. Yeah, because we're going to be facing a few hurdles to get the episode 28 up, but I really want more fan interaction.
So do I.
I do enjoy the idea of having emails and snippets here and there, but being able to interview, having kind of a third person in our podcast, even if it was just his segment and some question and answers that we did between us was really interesting. I wouldn't mind having a third person in the show from time to time, and that's what I've told everybody from the start. You can either be a small part by throwing emails or a bigger part by being part of the actual show. As far as what I want out of SWTOR, come content release, I like the idea of the new planet. I want to see what the new space missions bring, because you can, with the railed space missions, I can only see it going so far.
Yeah. It's like the same thing over and over again. It's going to end up
right.
being like the PvP.
You can change the backdrop, but
it's the same mission.
Well, yeah.
I mean, right now, as it is right now, they only have like 5 missions, and then the next set of missions is the same mission, just harder.
Harder, right. So it's questionable as to whether or not that's going to happen. I did talk to someone the other day, and they were talking. They had mentioned to me that they had at some point played with the idea of a free roam style of space battles, or a PvP space battle. Someone was asking me about.
Well, that would be a great idea, but they'd have to look into other games that have done it and see if they can borrow or get the same idea. I mean, I know people hate STO, but I really think STO did a great job with the space stuff. So I mean, that would be something. I mean, you'd have to do it like that. You couldn't do rail PvP. It'd be like riding dueling roller coasters and throwing your slushy at the guy as he passes. I mean, it's lame.
But I mean, I don't get a lot out of space missions to begin with, so it's not going to matter to me whether or not they throw new space missions.
I tried. I've been trying so hard with Suiza to do it, but because of the botting, they've reduced the experience points you get out of it. So and so it's almost not even worth doing it. I mean, you get 100 experience points and maybe some change. It's like, I've just spent 5 minutes doing this and I get 5 experience points. What the hell?
Well, and if it wasn't railed, they probably wouldn't have had the issue with the botting.
Yeah.
But whatever. Like I said, it makes not a nigh difference to me.
Yeah.
What I would like to see is I'd like to see more world events. Not necessarily one a month, but one every quarter or so.
Something like that.
And I'd like it to be fully fleshed out,
Yeah.
like the Raccoon Plague.
And a little longer.
That felt like it was exciting. It was interesting, whether you were in PvP or you were in an op.
I loved it.
Somebody dies in an op, and suddenly you're like, fuck, we lost the tank.
What the hell are you coming in here diseased for, you jackass?
Right.
I think it'd be great if it affected the NPCs as well. That would have been fucking great, because then it would have just been... I love that, because I know you hated it because people would blow up in PvP, but I thought that was cool, because you never knew, you could see people go, and you're like, oh shit, and you run away, and then I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm all right, and then you go back in. Yeah. I thought that was great, and the fact that it kept going even after the event was over. Of course, now they've made it to where it doesn't affect anybody, but I think they should have just kept it going. I mean, it's a disease, It's I mean, shit. We're having problems with West Nile again this summer, so why not bring it back, right? So it's like.
But I would like to see more. I'd like to see the world events, but fleshed out.
Yeah.
They don't have to coincide with anything that goes into the real world. They can if they chose to. Obviously, that's always an option. That's an easy win for MMO games. Is to I mean, if they chose, like, once again, relevant to the game. It
would have to be relevant to the game. It'd have to be a holiday game, not Christmas, not Halloween. It's got to be, if it, what do you have, a Wookiee Day or whatever you had, that happy days or something like whatever. But it would have to be relevant to the world of Star Wars. Period. Right. End of story. Maybe Darth Malgus Day or something. I don't know. But
and with the cartel coins, we're going to have the opportunity to buy probably mounts and pets, which is fine. But there's things that really intrigue me, like in WoW, the biggest thing for us was taking down the holiday boss, which they don't do. We haven't seen any holiday bosses really in Star Wars, because when we did the Raccoon Plague, they released the additional the flashpoints, the 2 flashpoints, and then they did. I think they introduced. Wasn't that Denova that they introduced for that one, or was it? No, it was. I think it was Denova.
I think so.
It was what they were introduced about that time.
I think so.
So holiday bosses, I think, would be an intriguing idea.
Well, they've got
they've
got world bosses everywhere, which is fine. So
which you could drop a holiday coordinated world boss.
Right. So like if it was, I don't know, Rancor Day or something, you would go to the one of the parts of the mission was to go to wherever the big Rancor is and you kill him and it drops, the coins or a special something. So you wouldn't actually have to invent a new boss. It would just be, okay, go kill this boss for this event. Now they've tried that with the weeklies, but God, it is so stinking hard to get a group together just to do those weeklies.
Weekly world
boss thing. I mean, I've still got 2, 3, and 4 now, and I've gotten one boss down, and it just happened to be at the right place at the right time to get into a group. Of course, the other time I tried doing that, we got gang raped by the imps, so that was a bitch. And then nobody wanted to do it again. Fuck it, we're not going there. But which is understandable because that world boss is in imp territory, so it's a bitch to get to it. Of course, with the Belsava's world boss, it's in Republic territory, so it's the same thing. So. Yeah.
But I mean, I would like to see something like that because, and as much as Kevin and I argue about which is better or which was the which did it best. Mm-hmm. When we played, every year we had Brewfest in WoW,
which was like the best one. I mean, what a better way to celebrate than just to get all your characters extremely drunk.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Or, you got the drunk goggles, which made it look like everybody.
Yeah,
was
for those who didn't want to drink.
Yeah, and the big thing for that was you would kill the boss for that one, and like I got the Brewfest Ram. We were running on my brother's server way back when I was I had just turned level 70, I think it was, and there were trinkets that you could get. There were really decent trinkets for a starter character, or really decent, goofy little social gear items. And we ran nonstop. Like we'd get a group of 4, and everybody would go in, and we'd get our 4 turns on the boss, and we'd have 4 chances at loot, and that was awesome.
Yeah, my favorite drop out of that whole thing was those big fucking steins. I mean, it's nothing like running around with your character with 2 steins in your hand, beating the shit out of them.
And I did that on My Balls, which was my room.
On My Balls.
Ow, my balls.
Ow,
my balls. Yes, inspired by the Idiocracy movie.
Okay.
But Ow, my balls made it all the way through, and he had 2 of the Brewfest, mugs and one in each hand.
That's the one thing that is great about Warcraft is they come up with some relevant but silly things. I mean, they don't go out of game, but I mean that was like when I was low level with Lanyard, he was the rogue, and I used to run around with the 10-pound basses in each hand and kill people. Especially when you could enchant them, that was even better.
Well, and when you can make a world event relevant to the game, offer some really interesting prizes, not just from a vendor like they did with our most recent content. But to then incorporate a boss that gave you an extra item, it increases the idea or the likelihood of social behavior.
As long as they keep rare.
Yeah. Would it have not been a little bit cooler if everybody who wanted that Walmart mount had to go and take down a boss? Mm-hmm. Would it have made it a little bit more social? I mean, other than going around and gathering and clicking on the same node 100 fucking times, like there was a group of like 50 people sitting on a node the wife was trying to get to, and eventually someone was nice enough to invite her to a group so that once they clicked it, everybody got it. That's one of the things I liked about the world events. During the winter season, you had the ability to go and take down an ice boss, and that was cool. I mean, there's a lot of fun things that I think they could do with these world events that I don't think they're capitalizing on, and I don't know if it's short-sightedness or the fact that they're not sure people will get into it. They're still very much, God help me, pushing the single player. Mm-hmm. It feels, you don't have to get into a group to do anything unless you want to. Now it does make it easier to get some of these objectives obtained, but it's something like a world boss that dropped a mount or a cool piece of gear for a new 50. I think that would behoove people to get into the group again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But
have you been getting datacrons?
No, you talked about doing a Datacron run a while back, and you just kind of pooped on it.
Yeah, I decided not to do it. Well, I got so focused on doing Suiza, but I mean, she's got like 2, just because she happened to see them and was around. Of course, she got the first planet ones, but I've noticed that a lot of people just aren't doing those anymore. Which I think it's just because they're such a pain in the ass to get to, which is fine. That's kind of the idea, but I think that's the thing. I mean, I would love to go do them again, and maybe now I've got. I think I'm going to take your advice and just pick one of the characters and run with it. Well, since all the other troopers are so low level, that I probably won't be running Suiza as much. I think I need to get back on Lanyard. Actually, I would like to run Zuzu now. Start getting her up. She's my Sork.
But I don't know. I get the cubes whenever I can. Now I did hear. Now one of the things that Kiwi told me was that the Matrix cubes that you can make for your 50 by having all those shards. That's actually one of the better trinkets to have as you're getting your gear together.
If you get all the best ones. I have yet
to replace my Matrix cube on Rakata.
Mine's sitting in the bank. Because
I put mine on Rakata. I augmented it. It's cherry.
Well, with Lanyard, his is all about aim, and all the and those are the green ones, right? And if you look online, the green ones are the fucking hardest ones to get to. It's like, thanks a lot, assholes. Make the aim the fucking hard. Aim is the one where you have to have 3 or 4 players. Aim is the one where you have to have the thing that melts the ice. Aim is the one that you have to have the grapple.
All the stuff I already did.
Yeah, it's.
Well, that just means you need a group of people to have some fun with.
Which
we need to have one of those drunken runs.
We need to have
4 of us to get together.
We need to have a fucking in-game calendar for the goddamn guild. Hello, I mean Jesus. Every game in the world, every game in the world that's got the guild has an in-game calendar, so they can set up events with their guild and do stuff instead of just going, "Hey, you guys want to go do shit? Oh, I'm not even on right now." Fuck, get an in-game calendar. I mean, how fucking hard is it? You put a clock in there.
Well, let's draw ourselves back in now. As we mentioned, guys, if you want to join us on the Republic side, you have no guild. You just want a group of people to shoot the shit with. You just want to be able to get in vent and find out where the fuck we are in game. You can talk to us. You can currently get an invite to the guild by looking up Boulder Dash on the Republic side of Party of the Five, and fuck, I said it. Prophecy of the Five, or if we happen to be on Wookiees Taste Like Chicken on the Imperial side, and we've given away the names of 3/4 of the characters that are on regularly. So just send us a whisper, send us a tell, hit us up in mail, and even if you just send us mail. We'll be happy to add you to friends. That way we know. Oh, damn, that's more annoying than the last 2.
I didn't realize I didn't change it, but I shut it off, so there you go.
Waffles. But we'll be happy to give you a guild invite. That way you can jump in vent. You can have a guild of social people who are just shooting the shit and out having fun. But, man, that draws us to a close. If you have any input, hit us up at sithtalk@gmail.com, and we'll see you in the pit.
Thank you again for joining us here on Sith Talk. Lanyard and Datacon look forward to talking with you next week. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Sith Talk, or stop by our Facebook page at facebook.com/Sith Talk. And of course our Gmail is sithtalk@gmail.com. This music brought to you by freeplay.com. And remember, peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion I gain strength. Through strength I gain power. Through power I gain victory. Through victory my chains are broken. The Force shall free me.